All right, well, don't blink, because if you do, it's technology passing you by. And with the amount of technology we use on a daily basis, sometimes parents are left in the dark while their kids, they're left to their own devices. Rodney Turner is here from Verizon Wireless, and Gina Turner is a kids tech safety blogger. They're here to help us to keep you on top of your kids' technology. I mean, nowadays, it's impossible to keep technology away from kids, even as young as 10, 11, 12,
Yeah, it's very much a part of our world. So, I mean, with technology being a part of our world, we've taken the stance of making sure that we integrate technology into their world and do it in a safe way.
Right. You don't want them to be behind or, that kind of thing. So it is, I guess, important to make sure that they have some access to it. But how do you control that access, I guess?
Well, the biggest thing is starting off with controlling the devices and having a little bit of knowledge on how the devices work. You don't have to be a tech guy. You don't have to be a Verizon Wireless employee like myself or a social networking guru like my wife. But, just being involved and having those conversations and, telling them about what's going on in the real world and making sure that we have access to the passwords. When we set up ours, what did we do?
We have a master password for both of the girls, which they can't log into anything unless they come ask us for permission.
Oh, okay.
So they don't know the passwords. We have to log them in. Say we have our oldest daughter's allowed to use Facebook. However, she can only get in if she asks permission. She doesn't know the password. The other thing is it enables us to be able to go into her Facebook and see her messages, see who she's friending, things like that. She also knows there's rules where she can only friend people she knows. She has to show us who's trying to friend request her. And for the most part, she's been pretty good with those rules. But we had to make sure you explain the safety reasons behind it with your kids.
Yeah, and in setting those rules, making sure that there are rules that that your kids are aware of.
We've had instances where she's joined groups or added people she doesn't know, and when she thought she could get it past us, we find out. We've gone back.
We always know what's going on with it, regardless of whether she thinks we know or we don't know. Because it was very important for us up front to make sure that we put the email accounts on there. We can create them ourselves. We have them set up so that they link to us. So any type of conversations that happen, they come to us. So we have that extra safety net that allows us to see what's going on. And we tell them both up front, if you're going to use the gadgets, you're going to use them responsibly. And mom and dad are going to see exactly what's going on with them. And we're going to hold you accountable.
Yeah, and we all know that moms and dads have eyes in the back of their heads. So nothing is getting past you.
No, nothing. We also install an app called Screen Time Parental Control on both of their devices, as well as we have a remote on our device. So we can give them set times.
And he's got it right here.
Set times where on the weekends they have 4 hours of access. During the school week they have 1 hour, it's after school. During school hours their phone is locked. They can only use it to make phone calls or to text one of us.
Wow.
After school hours, like I said, they have an hour to use it, and after that it locks up. They can earn more time through the app as well, where if they do a chore, we set limits. You clean your room, you get an extra 15 minutes. And they can request it through the app, which will come onto our phone, and we can accept it or not.
What's the name of the app again?
Screen Time Parental Control.
It's not a free application, but it's well worth it because at the end of the day, it's about the safety and security of our children. So, the $40 a year it costs to do it is well worth it. And a lot of times parents don't necessarily look at the options that are already right in front of their eyes. A lot of the carriers have different options available that allow you to help bridge that gap between the technology know and not know. Would it be a workshop where you can go in and learn about technology, or maybe some type of feature or benefit that you can add to your account which allows you to have a deeper level of control, or even gadgets and gizmos that get you there. There's all kinds of different ways that we can get there. It's just really having that dialogue, open up that conversation, and really, not being afraid of letting your kids use the technology, but also knowing that you have control over what they're doing.
So important, because there is so much out there that that, you know, we do need to be aware of and do need to be concerned
There
about.
is.
So,
And
yeah.
there's a lot of social media that
Yep.
kids think
Yep.
they need to be on. We've talked to our daughter. There's no need for Twitter.
She doesn't need a Snapchat. She doesn't need a Vine. She doesn't need any of those different things at this point because it's not age appropriate now. I mean, at 11, there's no real reason for her to use those things.
Okay. Well, it sounds like you guys have it under control. A lot of really great tips out there for parents. So we really appreciate you being here today.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Well, get out the gloves.